Hey y'all, it's that time again, and it's not a good one. So basically, I'm here to talk about scams. And yes, I made a video on this before, but of course, once all the YouTubers highlight all these scammers get smarter and they make up new ones because they're so creative that way. So I'm here to tell you about some things that are going on, some time waster scams, some actual scams that will steal your stuff, just to keep you all in the now, or the knowing, and so you all know this information. So I'm gonna get started with time waster scams. I've been seeing them a lot more than often, and now if someone does this, they might not be doing a time waster scam, but most times than not, they are time wasters. So for example, you may have experienced this before. When someone hosts a pageant, you stay there for the pageant, you finish it, and then when they're supposed to get the so-called prize, they leave. That is basically what I'm talking about. Now that is a more common one, everyone kind of knows that. The only people that really do fashion shows and they give the prize are kind of like YouTubers. But most of the time people do that for time wasters, and there are people that actually do that. It's just tricky. It's one of those tricky ones where you don't know if it's time waster, but most of the time I suggest just don't do it, because most of the time they will be time wasters. But these people have created new ones that actually include exploits and hacks. That was just amazing. I fell for one of those. So what someone will do is they'll hide around the map and they'll tell you to go find them. Now some people, this is true, like they will give things. Now here's one that I will talk about that happened to me once. Basically, I was on mainland, someone said they were hiding on mainland, and you had to go find them, so me and basically everyone on the server kept trying to find this person, and we had no luck, and the person said they're right next to Larry, so we all went to Larry. Turns out the person was using a hack to make their body basically disappear, and only like the hip block, if you know what it is, kind of like a rectangle block, it's between the torso and the legs part of your avatar, and they were basically used a hack where it made it only the little square block appeared, and then they did it so it showed their whole entire avatar, and everyone was kind of just mad. And the person said that it wasn't their fault, it was our fault for not looking, but basically it was a time waster because no one's gonna see a little rectangle because it's an exploit. So those have been happening a lot lately. Now people do actually do this and they aren't time wasters. So the tricky part is, what are you gonna do if you see someone doing this in your game? Do you decide to take the chance it's gonna waste your time? Or are you going to just completely ignore it? Because it happens a lot. And the thing is, I used to do these type of things to give horses away, but now it's seen as a possible scam or a time waster because now all these scammers and time wasters are doing this now as well. And the only thing I have to say is just do your chances. Now, if it's a YouTuber that is trusted and like they do those type of events and all that, then it's very low possibility it's going to be a time waster. Because if it's a YouTuber, they're out in the open, they can't really fake or scam. So I feel like those are more guaranteed not to be time wasters. But it is a little bit murky or not completely black and white when it comes to the everyday players hosting these. So my opinion is enter some of these challenges if you want to. It's at your own risk though. Now the challenges I say you should not enter whatsoever, and here's where the scam part comes in. Some people that do the little hide and seek or pageants require you to enter a enter fee. I have seen this multiple times before where the prize is a event horse, so of course you want that, but here's the catcher. You have to trade them a horse and give them a horse in order to enter the pageant, and then they do the pageant and then they leave right afterwards and not give the award to anyone. So basically they make a bunch of events off of these people, waste their time, and then they just leave. Now I have witnessed a few of them. And the thing is, I don't really enter pageants because I don't like making tax sets just for making tax sets for a pageant. I don't really enjoy that when it's on the spot. But I just watch anyway in the chat, and sometimes I'll go on an island and see it. But someone made it so you had to trade an event horse. And here's the tricky part. They said it couldn't be low tier, it had to be high tier in order to enter, because the tier was supposed to be a spring Arabian that was supposed to be the prize. And of course, people got scammed, but only like one or two because everyone else was saying don't do it. Now, I say if there's a entry fee in order to enter these things, just don't do it. It's most likely going to be a scam. If not, well, you can do it for free, but it's mostly going to be a scam if people make you put like an entry thing in. Now, that is like a time waster plus a scam. Those are some things I wanted to talk about. Now, for these newer players, ever since Wild Horse Islands did a collab with Netflix for the Unicorn Academy, we have been getting a new influx of players, and they are being tricked. They are being scammed, because these players, these older ones that are scamming, now not all the older players are scamming, but some of these are realizing that there is a opportunity, they are taking it, and it's not a good one. So they are scamming these new players, saying these are Robux horses, or these are hard to get horses, when it's just a normal horse. Now, for example, I've seen people trading a regular Fjord saying it is a Robux horse, and then they try to scam people. I saw this happen like a couple weeks ago when someone was trading a regular Fjord saying it's a Robux Fjord and making someone offer. I had to intercept and tell them to stop it, and luckily that person didn't get scammed because other people in the server joined me. So that is an example of one of the scams that's going on right now. So people are trying to make up these Robux horses and trying to get people to buy them or overpay for them a lot, and then they end up getting scammed. And then when a new player finally gets experience enough, they realize that they were just scammed in the beginning. Now, new players won't really have a lot of good stuff, so it's not as bad, but still it's pretty bad if you're scamming and taking advantage of a newer player. It's because some newer players do actually get really good items. For example, when I started, someone gave me this random horse. Where is it? Oh, I think I have it on my farm. Yeah, it's probably in my farm right now, because I put all my old horses in there. Basically, I got a spring event. No, it's not spring. It was the Easter 2022 event. It was a paint horse. Someone gave it to me when I first started, and I'm like, what do I do with this? And then they just left the game. They gave it for me and then just left the game. I had no idea. I thought it was a common horse. Turns out it was a rare event horse, and I learned that a couple months later. So basically, these new players can get rare items and not know their worth. So that's what these older players, some of them are, taking advantage of that, and it's not nice. So if you have a friend or if you see a newer player, please tell them values if they have something rare and someone's trying to take advantage of that, because it's still not nice and it's not okay for that person to be scammed. But I totally suggest, like, if you see a new player or if you're trying to help your friend get into the game, please treat them values, or not treat them, please teach them values, because they will be more like able to fall for these scams. They'll have the more likelihood to fall for them. Another one is a market scam. I went over this before, but it seems like a lot of people didn't really get it, or they didn't really see it, because this scam is coming back and I've been seeing it a lot more. Basically, these people have the first tier market stand and they'll say, oh, well, I don't have any horse stands, so you're gonna have to buy this random item. Oh, tokens. You're gonna have to buy this random item and then I'll give you the event horse. Now, those are scams. Never ever do those. Now, I understand if you want to sell an event horse but you don't have the tier, but save up for it or trade it for something that's equal value, because no one should ever do that. So don't ever buy an item if you're trying to get something else by buying it, because most of the time those are a scam. There are some people that have fallen for the scam. There are people that have lost a lot of tokens for this scam. It's terrible. So never buy something unless it's complete. For example, what complete is, or a complete trade, basically a person puts the horse on sale and you can buy the horse from the horse stall. Never buy a random item for the horse, because those are almost all the time scams. And even if someone's being genuine, just don't do it. Don't yell at them, tell them that they're a scammer in case they are actually doing it. But still, just don't ever do that, because most times they are going to be a scam. Just don't engage. And if you see someone else about to buy it, try to stop them from doing that, because that can be a scam. Another one is incomplete trades. Now, this is another example of kind of what I was talking about before. Incomplete trades is when you trade someone for something and they don't put all the items in. They're like, oh, well, I'll do this in the next trade. Never do those. Even if you think they're gonna do it, just never do them. That is one of the ways you can get scammed, because once the person does the first trade, they don't have to give you the rest of the stuff. They could just leave. Same thing around. If you have a trade that can't fit in one offer or one trading slot, then don't do that trade. Because the other person might request that you put in your first half first, accept, and then they leave, and then you lost your stuff. Incomplete trades don't do good or don't do well for both parties. They could be scammed, they could get their stuff taken away. Incomplete trades are terrible. Don't ever do those. And I kind of wish WildHorse Islands would listen to the Royal High rules of trading, because they have a lot more like stricter rules. For example, you can't do any incomplete trades. That is one of the rules I'm pretty sure that they do. So I wish this would be implemented into this game, because incomplete trades are absolutely terrible. People get scammed all the time from those. Now, another thing I would like to address is cross-trading. Now, cross-trading is when, say, you play Adopt Me and WildHorse Islands. Well, you want this legendary Adopt Me pet, right? So you go into this game, try to find someone that will give you the Adopt Me pet, and then they say, oh, well, like, trade me your event horse for this Adopt Me pet. And you're like, okay, fine. So then trade the person your event horse, and then they unfriend you and they leave. So then you just got scammed. That is what a cross trade is, and they never turn out well. They never work out. They are always scams. Never ever cross trade. Now I understand some people might not be trying to scam, but it's one of those things that just don't ever do it, because they are most likely always a scam. Now, these are just some of the scams that I've come across in this past recent months. I just wanted to say that to make you all aware of this, because these are terrible scams, and it's so upsetting that I have to make this video, but I just always have to make this video like every once in a while to keep you all updated on all of these scams. Now, I hope you all stay safe, but this is just your daily reminder of some of the scams that have come up recently. And if there are more scams, please put them in the comments so other people watching this video can look out for them. Now, thank you all for watching and stay safe. Bye!